So I'm going to share something personal today. I think this needs to come out from a person who has been stuck away from his home for about 70 days now. I think that I have been in lockdown. And I'm pretty sure there are other people who have faced the same situation. And I'm going to touch on two issues which I think personally for me felt and were very difficult. So I'm not going to compare this with any other situation. Everyone has a different capacity, everyone has different situations. I'm sure as hell not going to compare this with all the travesty that has been going upon with the likes of migrant workers or the middle class people who have been really affected by COVID-19 lockdown. It's going to be just a video about a problem that I faced, a guy like me could face, my peers could face, someone watching this could face. And it's just something that I think that happened to me and really changed the way that I have been taking my life for. So before the lockdown period started, I was working at LTI, and it was a very rewarding experience to be. And honestly, this had been one of the greatest journey that I had undertaken in my career. Right when I had started back in my college and I had started learning, I had never imagined that I would be in a place where I would be able to make a change, contribute, and work together with a team which would be so dedicated and hardworking. So, really, it had its ups and downs, but I was mostly very, very passionate about my work and really, really hardworking. I used to put in constantly about 12, 13 hours. A bit of complaining happened, but really it was amazing. But COVID-19, the lockdown itself, it changed a lot of things for me. My schedule, the first thing that changed was my schedule. Before lockdown, I had been fairly regular to the gym. I had started getting back into the shape and getting back into the ideology of treating the body as a temple, but it just blew right past away from me. Like whenever we think of starting something, it's the most difficult part. We start something, and that start, the initial push, the initialization phase, the beginning, is the toughest part for anyone. And starting, if you shake during that start and you lose it, you just lose it. So that happened with me in the very first week of lockdown. I had started working out at all, started showing up, because a big guy like me, it requires a considerable amount of energy to burn off things that you don't want on your body. And when you aren't doing anything, essentially just lying down on your back all day, it starts to show up. Whatever you had worked hard upon for last, say, 4 to 5, 6 months, it all just goes into vain. That affects you mentally. But even though that was happening, I think the fact that I had all my wits about me remained. I had started doing a lot of household chores, and I was cooking, I was painting, and I was doing a lot of different things that really didn't require any physical strenuous activity, but they were really helping me grow. I was taking care of some plants also, and all in all, it just began a schedule that I had never imagined, like waking up early, and started doing things that I never really imagined I would do. I mean, I started watching the birds when I used to wake up. And I enjoyed that. But again, that lasted for a week, because, see, if you're forming a habit and if you are doing something, and if you are doing that for, let's say, an hour, a minute, a day, a week, unless and until you are really, really committed to that fact, you cannot sustain it. You can't. So, the schedule that I formed for a week again just crumbled right in front of my eyes. And I believe that would have been the case for most of the people. Away from home, living alone, trying to figure out a balance between their work life and the situation what they have been put into. There were certainly many changes in my work also. Some of the people were immediately too overworked and they had to leave the company. Some had to be shifted to different projects for certain requirements, and immediately it became a situation wherein even though I was a fresher, it became a situation wherein I was sort of the senior most member of the team. Everyone else different. The connect with the team, the people that you know, when you lose that, when you start losing the reality of the situation, when you start to feel that okay, now everything has changed for real because you are not even interacting with the same people anymore, and your schedule has changed, your entire work environment has changed. There has been a chaotic shift, a tectonic shift, I would say, in whatever you are doing. That's when it hits you. That's when you start getting tired of your work. That's when you start going down, feeling low, and the downfall begins. You start interacting more and more with your friends, family, girlfriend, boyfriend, whoever it is, and you start to understand that there is something big happening, there is something wrong happening, and you are not in the right place right now, my friend. You start to question that with yourself. And that was my 4th week, the last part of the first month of lockdown, wherein these questions had started arising. 4 weeks for an extrovert guy like me, alone, talking to himself, trying to figure out a lot of things, trying to sort things at work, working for over, say, 18 hours at times. That really puts you in a position where you lose a lot of real face time with the world, and you are constantly addicted to screens, your phone, your laptop. You are addicted to your system, and you are just not moving, not physically and not even emotionally and mentally. Words that used to mean something out of your mouth, they would turn into useless gibberish. And once that starts happening, it's the time that you take a pause, hit reset, and start again. That's what most people would do. That's what we are wired to do. We are not wired to stop. We are wired to just keep on moving forward and just trying new things. I mean, humanity is a pinnacle of evolution, and we are the ones who have innovated and moved forward for thousands of years now, surviving every possible known pandemic, epidemic, disease, plague, famine, wars, yet we are here. So we are wired to move, right? But in a situation where you need to hit reset, you need to be capable of hitting reset. And again, at that point of time, when I needed to hit my reset, when I needed to just put a slap on my face and just say that, okay, now it's time to again reset the things, get back into schedule, and just start working harder again, better again, and faster again. So at exactly that point, I was diagnosed with a case of kidney stones, and It was horrible, really. The entirety of the mind and body of relationship, this relationship wherein the mind interacts with your body, your soul is working towards something greater by the help of your body. It's a relationship. It works with both of them working together. No matter how strong your spirit may be, one of these things breaks down, can't do anything. So, struggling through enormous pain, going through that, the first 2 weeks just too painful. I had to take some time off from my work and I had to cook, I had to clean my house, I had to do everything. But now with the additional sprinkle of constant mind-boggling pain just pinching me every time I moved. I remember going to hospital twice or thrice a day, just trying very hard to not do anything else and come back safe and sound, because that's what we want, right? We want to be safe and sound. We want us to be fine, right? So I remember that was really, really hard. And through that struggle, I really think that even though my body had stopped working much like it should, my mind was still in a mode to get reset again and fight it. But again, there are certain things that you can't control. So in an environment where I was struggling to keep up, make all the necessary arrangements for me to continue living and surviving over here, somehow I completely broke down. So it was the second week, the end of the second week of my diagnosis, where I was supposed to change my medication and go for further treatment. I talked to my parents. I consulted with them, what should I do, and they just broke down. Now the thing is that I have strict parents, and a relationship with strict parents, anyone who has that can tell you that your parents do not break down in front of you. They don't. They care for you in their own manner. They are a bit hard on you. They'll just scold you at times, but you'll know that they really love you, and you'll know this, that they won't break down, because caring for them comes naturally, and they are possessive about you. They are a bit more closer, I'll say, than anything else. And they'll keep a strong face in front of you, and they'll be brave so that you'll be brave. But seeing that happen for me, about 3,000 kilometers away from my home, when they were trying so hard to be brave, when I was trying to be really brave, I hit a low. And I think if I categorize it, if I give a name to it, and if I try to explain it to me, to anyone in any sort of manner, I'll always say this, that that's when I got depressed, and that's when I really understood what a feeling, what a situation I am in. And it was very low. I just woke up the next morning I didn't even know that I had slept or anything. It's just too blurry. But I do remember the morning. I just walked out to my balcony and I just looked ahead. There was this breeze blowing. A sparrow just came and sat right in front of me. And it was one of the most tragic times going on where I was trying to hold myself together, hold my parents together. My friends were worried, obviously, and everything. I thought the the situation was like that. Every wall that I was enclosed when, where I thought that I was safe, it was crumbling down and it was closing in on me. So I really didn't know that if I had to run from it or if I had to just stand and let it just close into me and just start over again. So it was a situation where I had nothing to do. I couldn't do anything. I was just too scared to move, and there I saw a sparrow sitting bravely right in front of me, chirping. I don't know what happened. I just went back in, poured a coffee for myself, took out my laptop and started coding. Really, it was a snap of a moment. I remember seeing the sparrow and I just went back in and started coding. And the next thought that came in my mind was simply that I can't do anything about my body right now. I can't move. But my mind is still there. I can think. I can move my hands. So just two things required for me to code. And I'm a programmer. And this is what I'm really passionate about. This is what I feel like it's the purpose of mine to be here. Everyone needs a purpose in life. I felt that this is something that I could get behind. And I did. I coded. 2 nights straight, I was constantly chatting with my best friend Ashwin out there, and was helping me, was testing the code with me at the end, and I made something great. Really, I didn't think that I could make it because I had just started learning that technology, and I did it without any help, without any tutorials, without any YouTube thing going on, and it was something that could really solve a problem. So I did it. I gave it to the people who needed it, and suddenly the surge of adrenaline and happiness surged in me. My body is still not able to move. My mind and my spirit just held together. Called my parents and just told them that everything is fine. You don't need to worry, and I'll take care of myself. I'll push through this. This is nothing. I can do this. They were like, okay, fine. You seem confident. You seem happy now. Good. Go ahead. With that sorted, with my uh, parents' condition back to normal, with my mental condition back to normal, I really started putting in efforts in learning a lot of things. I put in time to start learning intricacies of code. I really couldn't sit long hours back at my work, and that was affecting me definitely, but I found smarter ways to work. And right now, when we stand at the cusp of this lockdown period wherein everything has changed for good, worse, I don't know, for a different scenario, I have a reason why I'm sharing this difficult journey of mine with every one of you, because I feel I needed everyone to know that people like me, I'll say I'm a privileged brat. I'll definitely say that I have a lot of privileges that most people haven't enjoyed. I have a roof over my head. I have parents that love me. I have enough money to sustain myself in a different city. I have a good job. and I have friends, family, everything. So I'm a privileged brat. I used to buy brands that I used to wear just once, and I definitely spend a lot more than I should. So after going through this roller coaster, somewhere something changed in my perspective. What I feel right now is that everyone has a personal capacity, no matter you are rich, poor, privileged, unprivileged, whatever it is, everyone has this personal capacity which leads you into thinking, in believing things that aren't real, that stop you, be it mental, physical, situational. There are things that will just put you to a halt. And if you can muster the courage, if you can snap and move past them, if you can just try to evoke your feelings of loving yourself again, of believing in yourself, of believing in your mind and your talent could be just blowing whistles, but god damn if you believe in that. It can be the anchor that holds you together, holds your mind, body, spirit, everything together. And if you have that anchor, it's okay being you. I have no shame in living the life that I am living right now. And I am very grateful that I can do that. And I am also really positive and really looking forward to help a lot of people out there who can't. Just yesterday, I went out on the field, tried to help a lot of people who had been stuck here in lockdown, tried to give them some groceries, some food, whatever I could. And I realized that the limitations that I have are different. The people that are out there, they have very different limitations. We all need to just realize this, that we'll need to stop comparing ourselves to others. We can't just sit back at home and say that, oh, okay, at least you're not out in streets. They're suffering, man. You could be suffering too. Look out for yourself also. And just never, ever give up on what you believe, what holds you, what's your anchor. Just stay positive. It's going to be very hard. Honestly, you won't even recover 100% even when you snap, even when you push through. It'll be hardly 10 or 15%. That's what I am at right now. But even if you move 2% out of it, those 2% will be out of it. In a zone where you are actually going to do something about it, where you're going to love yourself, where you're going to believe in yourself, and where you are going to believe that good things are coming up. We are going to work hard and try to make things better for yourself, your family, your friends. So, if you're out there, if you're thinking, comparing, if you're checking what your limitations are, if you have to check, if you're feeling depressed, if you're feeling alone, if you are feeling caged in, if you are feeling that you are not in a zone where you can be your best, if you're tired, if you're just struggling every day, just move. It's okay. It's okay. Take your time and just snap out of it. Once you do, I promise you, from the bottom of my heart, I do promise you, it will feel amazing. And everything that you do from there on will be worth it. Because you will be worth it. That's it. That's all I wanted to say. That's really everything.